and go hide in the loft.
I'm here to collect Mr. Hawthorne's rent! Shut that please! Before I get yourself into the wheel now! Christ almighty!
Johnny Fletcher busted into a farmhouse property.
You bring me back that stuff to folks.
Well, look at what we have here.
Please don't kill me.
Gentleman John Fletcher! Damn it!
Johnny Fletcher! Don't make me chase you!
I didn't kill nobody. I didn't murder that family.
That don't break me down to me. You're a bounty hunter. You're a wanted man. Here.
Out of the night that covers me, black is the pit from pole to pole. I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeoning of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade. And yet the menace of the years finds, and shall find me, unafraid. It matters not how straight the gates, how charged the punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul.
Stand down and no one has to die today.
This only ends one way.
They'll kill you all.
Why not take your chances in a prison cell?
Alright, I'm coming out.
My lord, I have a report.
Speak.
Our latest assassination attempt on Lady Nocturne has failed.
I can see stronger measures are needed. Begin phase 2.
Captured! The notorious Lady Nocturne has been brought in through the valiant efforts of the Void Cobras.
Get on the damn person.
Prisoner, take 5 steps, then stop and turn your right.
But the pirates of Velix Mortis are far from defeated.
My lord, I have a report.
Let's cut to the chase, since we both know that this isn't a social call and you didn't come here to waste time.
Fine. High Command is gambling that the attempt on your life by your so-called friends has made you willing to cooperate. Am I wasting my time now?
What fate will befall the disgraced former pirate?
The Minotaur sends his regards, traitor.
What does your High Command want, and what are they offering in return?
High Command wants many things, but it wants to show a good faith first.
Team 1, move up. Marking 2, covering fire.
Bravo Team 1, push up. Bravo 2, give us support.
What next for now infamous mercenaries, the Void Cobras?
I want every last pirate I used to run with dead. I don't want to be watching over my shoulder every hour of every day.
Now you die!
Will the Void Cobras become targets of Lady Nocturne's former pirate comrades?
Attention, crash override. This is Freighter Ebony Hawk. My ship just lost all power and thrust. We're going down. Mayday, mayday, mayday.
There truly is no honor among thieves. You rabble will turn on each other at the slightest provocation.
Okay, fine. Moving past you.
Find out on the next episode of Star Citizen Nocturne.
Jameson, you copy?
Touch me now. I don't want to live without you. Nothing's gonna change my love for you.
Jameson, we require immediate emergency extract.
I don't know, man. It looks kind of hot over there.
I've entrusted my life to idiots.
Okay, got it working, Sarge.
Alright, Corporal. Good work. Follow me! Y'all remember what Sarge said? Stay together, keep comms clear, and heads on the swivel.
Clear.
Okay, we're gonna secure the then sweep the entire ship for survivors. Channel, you take point. Doc, you're behind me. Corporal, you're bringing up the rear.
Understood, Sergeant.
Taking track. Oh shit! Start something. Oh my god, oh my god! Get the hell out of here! Get him off me, get him off me, get him off me! They're getting in my armor! Ah!
I got into collecting bounties when a gang of bandits bushwhacked my wife, my best friend Coyote, and me. Meet the Jones Brothers.
Take a look at the situation in which you find yourself.
That's Joshua.
Can I have real bad?
What's the Indian word for
Next to him is Rufus the Doofus.
Like, I don't know.
You're just trying to make me look dumb.
All right, I want to
Next
see
to
rifles
him is
on the
Lyman.
ground.
Remember those faces.
And 6.
You'll see him again.
8 hands praising Jesus.
The other ones, well, ain't no use in introducing. They're all dead.
Run! Obadiah, get the saddlebags! I got
I later discovered the Jones Brothers were all wanted men. Figured I might as well get paid for taking my revenge.
Man, we still wanted for justice. The post is still on the wall?
So I hunted down the ones we didn't kill. Lyman, he sang like a bird. Rufus and Joshua were smuggling contraband down the river. Always to the same spot. I found a nice perch on a bluff above the river where I knew they would eventually be. During the war, I was a sharpshooter. Coyote's Whitworth came in handy. For weeks, I tracked them. Then I killed them.
If you like our content, we'd appreciate if you'd like, subscribe, and get notifications. Help us extend our reach by sharing our video content. And if you want to help us beat the algorithm, also leave us a comment on some of our videos. What is up, everybody, and also Fam of Liberty? I figured I'd flip that around a little bit.
How's it going?
Oh no, is my mic not working? Is it working? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm muted.
All right. It's dicey. Like every single time I do a live stream, it's like I start 30 minutes before and everything's working fine, then everything goes live and everyone's like, we can't hear you. All right.
Every time.
So everybody knows me. Everybody knows Doug. So we need no introduction. I'm going to let you guys introduce yourselves because you know better than anybody else.
Yeah, sure. You want to go first, Caesar?
Sure. My name's Caesar. I'm a 4-year Marine Corps veteran. I was in the comm community, so it's kind of have a little bit of, experience with, what just recently happened. But I'm an amateur filmmaker. I just graduated film school. I have a love for all things that are equal rights, and yeah, I'm very new to like political discourse, and as far as like as intense as we've been engaging in it as of recent. I mean, every once in a while throughout my life, I've spoken out against when, let's say, police shootings and really, really abhorrent things that pop up in the news and stuff like that, but never really gotten involved this intensely. But then again, at the same time, I also admit that, I was pretty much distracted a lot. So I feel good doing this now and, getting up to speed and helping others understand that we are not in normal times and we need to do everything we can to prevent what's going on from getting any worse. But yeah, it's pretty much a little bit about me. I'm kind of having issues with words right now. Yeah,
I feel that deep down in my soul.
Well, my name's Chance Meeting. I'm a writer and also an amateur filmmaker for now. But I've always had a lot of my writing fueled by things that I saw that was wrong with the world, that I perceived wrong with the world. So a lot of it was politically driven. The first book that I've written, the book that I'm writing now, I used to write for a few different publications doing journalism and things like that. And for 10 years, about since right before the start of the first Trump administration, I was very vocal not only through my writing, but also on social media and getting into a lot of discourse there, as I'm sure everyone here is very familiar with. I do less of that now and more of once I saw the direction of where things were going after, looking into Project 2025 before Trump got reelected this time, just seeing the fascist trajectory of this country, it compelled me to want to do something more than just, the typical writing and complaining and arguing that I was doing. I wanted to, have some type of agency and do some type of action. So that's where I found myself. And the first video that we did, Caesar helped me with, and ever since then we've pretty much been riding this train, going to different events, trying to get our boots on the ground with other people, meeting a lot of good like-minded individuals, and just trying to see any way that we can get involved and become part of the solution and not part of the problem. So yep.
Okay. Now, so everybody else that's watching understands how this came about. I was at the 14 March protest in Washington, D.C., and these two good-looking dudes walked up to me and introduced themselves, and it was you guys. Now, Chance, were you in the service, or do I have that? Like the
I
Navy?
was not in the service. My father was. I was a dependent. My father was in the Navy.
That's right.
For 33
Okay.
years. Yeah. So he was there with
part
us.
Missing puzzle piece. Yeah. Okay. Now I remember better.
Oh, yeah.
And you got what rough age range are you guys in? Like your 20s, mid 20s?
I'm 28.
I am 31. I turned 32 later this year.
Okay. Damn. Y'all wear it well. I do.
Everywhere we go, we have a lot of people excited that they see young people getting involved. So we saw more people around our age getting, but I think that's coming. Hopefully.
Yeah, no, I've been shocked to hear older people like tell me that, and I don't know. Maybe it's just because I have internet brain, but like every time I see protests and stuff like that on the internet, it seems like it's full of young people. But with at least the last ones that we've all been to, we've gotten the comments, and I don't see any young people in these anymore, and I'm just like, wow. Maybe it's just the region we're in. Maybe this is just where we're situated.
I think
cats
so.
are just
Rural North Carolina. Yeah, I think that's the reason why.
Yeah, it's been mind blowing for me.
Oh, are you guys in rural North Carolina?
Yeah. We're about we're in a place called Sneads Ferry right now. We're pretty close to Wilmington, North Carolina.
I know where
Sneads
Ferry is.
Yeah.
Oh man, you said that like you'd have some experiences. It's like I know where that is.
I mean, all right. So a couple of weeks ago, I went to go visit the battleship North Carolina. So
oh, nice. Yeah.
It was my first time. It was amazing. My wife is a former Navy sailor, so she got to watch me like geek out over ships because I was a fucking infantry grunt. So
hey,
heck yeah.
All right, so so you guys drove up from roughly the Wilmington area to go to the protest. Now, did you stay all weekend in DC, or were you just up for the day?
Unfortunately, no. We were just up for the day. I wish we could have stayed because the rest of it looked awesome. We were just there on Friday, though.
Same.
Yeah, would have liked to be outside of the Heritage Foundation with all of them.
Oh, that looked fun.
That looked
really
fun.
fun.
It looked like an experience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would have
think
loved
we're still
to.
out there.
I had a previous commitment that I'd made like months prior that was not going to be able to repeat itself. So I unfortunately could not stay for Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, the energy on stage from that Saturday was immense.
Awesome.
Like that was out of all, so at that point. So I think at that point I had only been to 4 protests at that point, and so I kind of complained to Chance. I just wasn't feeling like. I guess I'm not feeling the energy or whatever. In that moment. So when I went to the Saturday protest over with the Veterans March, everyone who got on that stage just lit a fire. And I was thinking to myself, I said, I haven't felt something like this since I signed up for the Marine Corps. So I was just like, I feel like I'm where I need to be. And I guess that's what I've been looking for.
You mean the Friday protest, the Veterans March, or the Saturday protest in front of Fox News?
It was Friday.
Oh yeah, no, the Friday march. So I got my days mixed up, but yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, you had me confused for a second. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, no, I was. Yeah, I've been all over the place all day with calendars and stuff like that. So my days were
that very first guy, Carlos from what is it?
Opposition.
Oh yeah,
something opposition.
He knows how to speak, man.
Yeah, he got up there and I'm like standing behind the stage, and I'm like, all right, let me see if I can. I have my speech on my phone, and I'm like, let me see if I can memorize this, because I don't want to be sitting up there being like, hello everyone, thank you for coming. So I'm trying to like commit things to memory, which is already that's a bad idea in the first place. And when that guy, I'd made a promise, like, because we had Cliff Cash and Jessica Denson on our live stream, and prior to them coming on, I was briefed. Jessica is she comes from a religious conservative background, so it would behoove you to refrain from swearing during the show. So I was like, okay, cool. So when we started emailing with her, I was like, hey, just want to let you know, I understand that you're from a religious type background, so I'm gonna curb my language. I'm gonna make a vow right now not to swear. So when I was asked to speak at the rally, I was like, all right, and I will even do it without swearing. So I wrote this speech, no profanity whatsoever, not even tempted to use profanity. There was no opportunity in there where I could just, slip in an F-bomb or something. So as soon as Carlos got on the stage and was like, stand the fuck up, wake the fuck up, fuck Trump, I was like, all bets are off, baby.
Yeah.
I'm free.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, that was
the line has been crossed. It's time to
go.
Pandora's box.
Yeah. And I had been following him since I first during the beginning of the administration, I think, is when he started American Opposition. So just seeing his incendiary posts that he would put out when he only had a few followers, I was like, yeah, that deserves a follow. And then seeing what he's built since then, and all of the speeches that he's given at the events that he's gone across the country. He's been doing a ton of traveling. And then when I heard that he was speaking at the DC protests that we went to, the Veterans March, I was like, oh my gosh, I've been listening to this dude for the past, 5-6 weeks on the internet. And I was like, I can't wait to hear what this guy has to say. And he did not disappoint.
So you guys, you mentioned, I can hear you, Doug.
All right. Just making sure.
Can hear you.
Mm-hmm. You guys mentioned you were just starting out, and you had like 20 some odd followers or something when we spoke. So I was like, well, those are rookie numbers. Let's see. You got to pump them numbers up. Let's see if we can help you with that. So,
well, we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I actually had a conversation with somebody today on our Discord server about using profanity. They're like, oh, somebody said I shared one of your videos, your most recent video, with like a Vietnam veteran, and they were totally feeling it, but they were like, you should cut down on the profanity. And I would love to like do a video where I don't swear at all, not even like a damn. I tried that exactly one time. So I got hooked up with this organization called Vote Vets. They reached out and were like, hey, we want to, team up or something like that. I can't remember the specifics, but it was very, very short-lived, because I was like, all right, cool. And then they watched the video and they're like, could you do it without swearing? And I was like, yes. So I did. I did a whole video, no profanity whatsoever, and people hated it. They were like, what? Is this AI? Who are you?
You were neutered.
And
neutered.
this was leading up to we haven't even had the election. This was like July-ish or something. So they were like, you can't, no, this is fake. This can't be you. Where's all the swearing and whatnot? So that's why, like, I'm not going to censor myself anymore. And I've learned from that people want their, and I'm not saying that I'm like a big shot or anything, but I have a modest following of like 7 or 8 people or whatever. So those people in the comments are like, you know, your authenticity is that you're an angry, profane veteran. And that's what people want. They want that vulgarity because we're saying the things that they probably can't say. Like, these are people who, you know, are pillars of their community or whatever. And there's like this misconception that the left has to be a bunch of like smarty farty people talking big words, you know, the fucking 50-cent word calendar of the day or whatever, using big words that could otherwise be summed up with like 3 or 4 smaller words. They're like, oh, we got to be smart and intellectual and use facts, and we can't swear because swearing is a sign of low intelligence or whatever. Well, fuck that. Fuck all that.
Actually, to the contrary, a lot of studies have shown that swearing is a sign of higher intelligence, but I'm sure there's studies that say lower too. I'd say just whatever feels natural, just do you.
I'm gonna go with you know what I say to people that talk like that? I just like, I pull a phrase from a show I recently watched. I just look at that person and go, devour feculence.
Oh my god!
Just
talk
mess
about
with them.
Severance.
Eat shit. Eat shit. But like, as a smart person, devour feculence.
No, my mom.
It's not that you.
My mom admonished me for the same thing because I'll do that in some of the commentary videos that we do because it's like that's just what feels right. You know, you're passionate and you're angry, and why should you curb that? You should show that you're passionate and angry. We don't have to be polite about things when what we're talking about and what we're reacting to is the complete opposite of anything that's decent and polite. Like, we have to call things like it is and meet it with the same attitude that it deserves, you know.
Profanity sounds angry. Like, there's a big difference between I'm very upset and motherfucker, I am fucking enraged. There is a definite tone in one and the other. And right now, and since like fucking August or whatever of 2024, people want their politicians, they want their leaders, whether it's their community leaders or the people, authority figures, politicians, pundits, talking heads, they want them to be outraged. Like, don't sit there and just casually say, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is messed up. They want them to be angry. Like, those people have to embody the spirit of, they have to channel the cultural zeitgeist or the social zeitgeist in this case of everybody out there who is pissed, who is afraid, who are they're angry, they're scared, whatever the case may be. They want that embodied in these people who they feel are supposed to be representing them, and they're not getting it. And I think that's why people look at guys like Carlos and me and Doug, and when you're not being admonished, you guys, when you cut loose with a string of profanities, and you know, when it's artfully wielded, it says the same thing but stronger and on levels that people viscerally understand, and maybe they can't say it themselves because they're afraid of the like, what if my dad sees this on Facebook or whatever?
Fuck that.
I think the time is over.
Speaking on the same subject, when your boy the tangerine tornado went up there in front of Congress and had the joint speech to the joint session or whatever it was, that wasn't a real State of the Union address. That person who seems to get it every other time was Jasmine Crockett. So she came out and she started cursing off the bat. Like, you know
Yep.
what? It's late. Fuck this. Let me tell you something.
I love
This is
her.
bullshit. Like,
Yeah,
this
she's
is straight up
the best.
bullshit. And it happened so many times. It was like somebody's been coaching her. Like, just go off.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
I'm going through my list here. I'm looking like that one because I don't get Political Grade doesn't get the same views as Sons of Liberty, but that one got 67,000. All because she decided to. There's nothing that she said that wasn't that she didn't say before, but just because she cussed and she met the moment when people realize like she's outraged and not acting. Did you guys see that? What did you think of it? And let's talk about her as well if you haven't.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that by doing that, it gives the weight that what she's speaking on, what it deserves. One of my favorite moments from her. I have a few now cooking up in my head because I was going to talk about when the reporter asked her if you could say one thing to Elon Musk, what would you say? And she just went "fuck off" and then turned around. Or when we're talking about when they were when she was talking to Marjorie Taylor Greene. Do you guys remember that one?
Yeah, her eternal rival.
Yeah, her eternal rival. Yeah, the bleach blonde, bad built, butch body.
Yeah,
bad built. Yeah.
That
I was
is
like, come on.
comeback.
I remember that.
Yeah, I mean,
Listen,
she keeps
they
it
made
real.
songs
That's what
like
it
that
is.
one. It was beautiful.
I look at I sometimes see those two have their little spats whenever they have their little meetings and stuff like that, and I'm like, since we got like McMahon's wife in the cabinet now, can we just literally turn Congress to a WWE match and just have
Bring out the
Jasmine
squared
and
circle.
MTG just go at it? Like, let's go. Because the way the daggers they stare at each other when neither of them are talking, you can see it on C-SPAN and stuff. They want a box. They want a box, and I want to see it.
But I think that's an attitude that more congressional Democrats need to have, because the vast majority of them do not have that. They're still playing by same rules. They still think they're in the same culture of decorum when everyone who is in Congress that's on the right and everyone in the administration has absolutely no decorum at all. Yet a lot of the congressional Democrats are still trying to play by that same rule, still trying to walk on eggshells, still trying to be prim and proper, when that's not what this fight calls for at all. You need to call things like it is, and you need to bring the exact same weight of what those things mean when you're speaking on them,
Not, I mean, I agree 100%. It's like the time for going high, like swinging for the high road, is over. It's like we've already learned that our enemies are not going to play fair. They're not going to give a damn about decorum or stuff like that. If they want to get a point across, they know that if they scream it as loud as they can and use as much emphasis as possible, that's what's going to get people looking at them. But we cannot sit here and pretend that, well, because I always take the high road, I'm gonna always win out in the end. It's like we're long past that now. Like that.
Yeah, that's self-defeating
that ship has
at this
sailed.
moment. Yeah,
like we're like now it's people are angry, and I don't know about you, but it's like if I stub my toe, I feel a hell of a lot better if I yell out "fuck" than if I go "ouch." It's like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's like I'm still hurting, but like one version makes me feel a lot better once it's over. So
I know there's something cathartic about it.
And so when I see people like Jasmine Crockett, I actually just watched the video she posted last night on Threads. She did like a fireside before bedtime chat, and so she started out a little nice and stuff like that. And then there was a point where she just says, "And now it's after dark. Go the fuck off." And I was like, "Oh, this is why people like you were getting more support."
Those are attitudes,
because that's what people want to hear. I mean, one of the biggest talking points that MAGA had when Trump started coming into the popular zeitgeist was like, "Oh, he talks like a regular person. Like he sounds like a guy you don't have a
common people."
Common people, and it's like, you know what common people do? We say fuck when we're pissed off. It's like we cuss, we yell, we scream, and all this stuff. It's like there is no like looking at a tragedy and going, "Oh, our thoughts and prayers." It's like
I
we're
feel
done
like
with that.
a lot of those
We're
people
fucking
are
good.
like, oh, they sound.
Although
Sorry, what was that?
I want to curtail that. No, you can go back in. I just want to curtail that with that's all fine until Jasmine Crockett does it, and those same people who thought that he was so good for doing it will say that
Oh yeah,
she's of the streets. I got all those comments too.
Right.
So let's not act, what I want to do is let's not act like they weren't just looking for Donald Trump as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
They weren't looking for that night, right? So, but yeah, we got to. Democrats learn nothing from it. That's for sure.
Yeah, they learn nothing from it. And you make a good point on people like calling her out on that type of stuff. It's like it's all good when the orange toaster strudel does it, but not when not when our sister does it. And like and right now there's a growing discourse online. There's a split where the people that don't like her either don't like her because she's too ghetto, or they don't like her because her ghetto's fake because she's privileged because of her education and where she grew up and stuff like that. And it's like, what do you want?
Who is
Like,
measuring these parameters?
It's like
who is doing this
it's old
gatekeeping?
country white dudes
Like,
People who are
yeah, I'm like,
non-melanated.
what?
It's like
I don't mean to throw
blowing
my fellow non-melanated people under the bus, but it's people with this right here.
It's like
This right here.
like I had to scold somebody the other day because they posted they shared a video where a guy was talking about, oh, Jasmine Crockett's not from the hood. She acts like she's from the streets, but actually here's her background. And I'm like, why is it that
what is acting like she's from the streets?
Like it's like no one learned from that Fresh Prince of Bel-Air episode at the fraternity, like the fraternity episode, where it's like, oh, they judge Carlton because he's a certain way, and it's like he's still black. He's still just because he didn't like have
yeah.
It's like he's still a brother. Like what are we talking about?
Now, what happens is it's whatever you're not. That's what they'll use instead of saying, I don't like the Democrat. I don't like the person because they're baby killers. That's you believe that every Democrat, the only reason why there's nothing that they could ever do, even if they get you rich and Elon poor, you would say no because you've been taught that they're baby killers. Instead of saying that, you say stuff like this. Allow me to read a comment, fellas. I still can't believe she could act like that as representative in Congress. I'm embarrassed to be a part of the black race because of her. Bitch, shut your ass up. We all know that you're lying. We all know that you're lying. What you mean by that is you don't like being a part of that race from the get-go because you've bought into the idea that everyone else is better. Say that then.
Yeah.
Stop acting like, because you have nothing to say when Trump says that. What did you say when what's her name from the what is she? What is this called? The Department of Education was inside the wrestling ring getting smacked up by her daughter. You had nothing to say about that? You had nothing to say about that, but you are ashamed to be a part of the black race because an educated lawyer who's now been elected as a representative for a state
all bullshit.
says, shut your ass up, bro. Get out of here. You're lying.
Amen.
You're lying. Say that then.
It's some Candace Owens type shit.
Oh man,
some Candace Owens type shit. Like I just don't think that's appropriate.
Oh god.
No. Darren, no, shut your ass up. Like,
please.
Please.
I'm ashamed.
I can't stand.
I'm ashamed.
When it comes to race relations, that's kind of one thing that I am passionate about and stuff like that. So that's kind of the lane I kind of stay in when it comes to like how that racial divide that is constantly being fed from the right, and all the defenses I've been getting from my neighbors whenever I bring up something that like is vaguely discriminatory. They're like, oh, you don't know that to be it doesn't mean that. It's like, why does everything gotta be racial? Like, motherfucker, like half of you motherfuckers are the age at which when you were a kid, motherfuckers was still getting hanged and it was legal. Like, what you mean? Like, that was your
There's
lifetime, not mine. Your lifetime.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
what?
you
So what
grew
are we
up
talking
in.
about?
Especially
like,
where we are in our area. Growing
It's
up
like-
in this area, you cannot tell me that racism doesn't exist growing up in this area. For my family and my brother and my sisters, like we experienced that. And being in rural North Carolina and seeing rebel flags and then having conversations with people about why rebel flags are a bad thing, why I view that as a terrorist flag right there with the Nazi flag. And you still have people to this day in this town and towns like this just openly displaying that flag with pride, with some misguided, hollow sense of pride that I just don't understand it. And I don't understand how you can have conversations with people and explain the history behind it, and not just the history, not just what it means, but how it makes somebody else feel. And then they're still like, yeah, well, I'm still going to do it. And I hope we can be friendly at the same time. It's like, no, we can't. What are you talking about?
It's like it's like if my cousin was stabbed to death by a knife, and you decided not only were you going to take the murder weapon and keep it, but then you're going to hang it around your neck, or you're going to post it on the top of your vehicle, or you're going to hang it on your wall. And then when I come to your house and I have a problem with that because, hey, that knife killed my cousin,
and the blood stains are still on it.
Listen, that's just that's my cousin's knife. Like, that's heritage. Like, it was passed down from our dad to my dad to his dad. Like, listen, like, it ain't like, no, dude, it killed my cousin. Don't have it around me. It's like, why is that such?
It's so easy to see. Go to Germany and ask them where's the statue of your heritage. I'm wondering, is there a statue of the H-Man? Is there a statue of him out there? Tell me something. Where is the flag on the back of your truck? It's your heritage, isn't it? Like, there's a difference between something being your heritage that you're proud of,
right,
and something being the heritage that you want to turn away from or learn from. Like, there's a difference. Like, that all-encompassing heritage.
It's like, are there statues of Nazi soldiers or anything? But people here will fight tooth and nail to keep their Confederate soldier statues and their Confederate soldier named parks and everything like that. Like, it's absolutely, it's like, why? What's
I've never heard of people keeping the memorabilia of losers, except Cub fans. But it's like why would you fly a flag of the people that lost? Unless it's a sport, like they treat it like a sports team. Oh, don't worry, they'll win next time. No, there is not going to be a next time. You lost, and you lost permanently.
Why we get personal like this, man? What's happening to my team, man? Hold on, let's just relax with the Cubs stuff. Hold on. You going too far. Let's keep it on Trump.
I done crossed that line, huh?
So you guys,
100 years.
How far from?
I want you to go into your rebel education that you do once a year, because that to me is the epitome.
I mean,
of
how many
Confederate smackdown?
So there are 31 days in March, which means April 1st is coming up next Taco Tuesday. And April 1st is the start of Confederate Heritage Month.
Wait, that's a thing?
So that is a thing. And all right, so it was a thing that we did on Facebook for years and years before they shut us down and we had to create a new Facebook page. So you can't go back on Facebook and look up Confederate Heritage Month and see all of our posts. But every day in April, I would post at least one, if not two, sometimes 3 posts. And I would just absolutely fucking pillory all of this concept of heritage, not hate. And I would instead focus on Southerners who remained loyal to the United States. So like George Thomas, and it wasn't just white people. There were other free black people, primarily from like Louisiana, New Orleans specifically, who stayed loyal to the United States instead of doing that whole, well, this is my state and I'm going to fight for my state because my state done seceded from the United States, or whatever the fucking stupidity, including Robert E. Lee's cousin, who stayed instead of going to fight for Virginia, stayed with the United States and then became both a general and an admiral at the same time. Fucking weird.
Wow.
But so this year, I want to I'm planning on doing a crowdfunding campaign for like the month of April and see if I can raise money to do a video documentary series where each month I'll do an episode and travel around to all these places. But since you are in North Carolina, which is, I guess I can say I'm in North Carolina since Richard Ajetta basically done outed me. Since how far from like Fort Fisher, and there's like another fort down there. How far from Fort Fisher are you guys?
Like hour and a half, hour 45. We'll be closer. We're planning on both moving to Wilmington soon, so like hour and a half from Fort Fisher.
Okay, so basically, I could like go to Fort Fisher and be like, "These are my friends, Chance and Caesar, my new friends, Chance and Caesar. You guys could be in an episode with me." And we could fucking, because I got some shit to say.
Heck yeah, I mean, shit, I'm down.
I will film you saying it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
So you said you're a filmmaker as well.
Yeah. No, I graduated with honors from the Los Angeles Film School. I used my GM Bill to go.
Okay.
It's actually like it's what I've wanted to do since I was a kid. But yeah, no, I signed up to go to that school. They sent me $10,000 worth of equipment, and I was like, I'm gonna start doing stuff before I graduate, so I can just get to work. I started doing like commercials for small businesses. I did shoots with models if they wanted to like get some video footage for their portfolio. I would do, weddings and concerts and
TFP,
all sorts of stuff just to get out there. And it's been fun. Like I've enjoyed everything I've done, and like I said, it wasn't until this year, like the inauguration, really, where I got into political videos with Chance. And it's been really interesting to delve into that world. And I've always watched visual essays and stuff like that, and those have been cool. But then to go from the essay left tube, or bread tube is what they used to call it, to go from that to what I'm consuming now, which is more of like the more emotional, angry, like pretty much the rebirth of the resistance side of YouTube and social media. To see that gap has been really fascinating when it comes to learning what techniques I want to use when I start doing stuff, or whenever I'm working with Chance and he wants to do a video. Like I'm constantly trying to learn how do we make this more eye catching, or how do we edit this to where it's gonna make the point come more across clearer. And it's been a blast. Like it's been exhausting, but it's been a blast.
It's been stressful.
But we've like it's kind of funny because like again, like I've had my background is, for the first 19 years of my life I was raised in a cult, and then for 3 years after that, when I left said cult, I learned how to be an adult in the world, and then out of desperation I joined the Marine Corps. And so I was there for 4 years. And then I got out, started going to school and stuff like that, but I was still in the IRR, so I still had to like, mind my P's and Q's just in case I get called back, because World War III's around the corner. So I can't go too crazy. But it's like this month, the 21st actually, I finally left the IRR, so I'm completely free now. And I had this realization the other day, and I was like, as a free thinking adult, I'm only 7 years old.
Ooh.
And it's like 7 years total of not being under any kind of institution that tells me how to think. And that kind of gave me a panic attack for a little bit, because I realized I'm like, I am just a kid. I'm 31 years old, but I'm just a kid when it comes to like certain things. And I'm learning very fast. Like I have the knowledge, like I'm book smart, but it's it's finally come that time where I have to start applying that knowledge in when it comes to having these discussions with people, having arguments, and breaking down what's happening around me, and calling it either as I see it or as I interpret it. And so this is probably the most social stress I have felt in my life, because now I don't have first sergeant to fall back on, or my platoon to like run back to, like, listen, I just need to keep head down and just chow to chow, chow to chow. Or I don't have my congregation to, like, brainwash me into like reading an ancient book said to be written by God or whatever, and just like keep your head down and just like ignore everything. It's like I don't have that anymore. It's I have to face things as I see it, when I see it, and whatever happens at that point. I just got to feel good about what I feel. And yeah, it's been real and it's been fun, but it ain't been real fun. You know what I'm saying?
Building the ideology.
When did you guys meet then? Was this because you were in the Marines, and Chance, you were just graduating, maybe same school? When did you guys say, no, let's do this thing together?
When did we first initially meet? Because I was in UNCW for film and creative writing, and I dropped out because school just wasn't my thing. I really enjoyed the social aspect of college, but did not enjoy the academic aspect of college. Even with the things that I was there for, because it seemed like they were constantly trying to put you in a box, and I've always been a very rebellious person that did not really adhere to authority. But I was bouncing around from different places. I went to Wilmington, to Maine, where my sister lives, and then I went to Virginia Beach, and then back to Wilmington, and then back to Virginia Beach again. And somewhere in that move from Wilmington to Virginia Beach, the second time, is when I first met Caesar, because he was working for my mom at the time. And we met, but we didn't really talk. I was introduced to him by my mom, saying that, he was into film and everything. We had a few conversations, I think, about film, but we didn't really cultivate a friendship until I moved back to Sneads Ferry, because when I was in Virginia, my apartment got shot up, and I had to pack everything up. It's
what's happening there?
So long story short, I was living with some not so great people. It was in a nice area. The apartment buildings were like 3 years old, so nice apartment complex, subleasing from these people. And I was traveling a lot. They were not good roommates. They were always partying, blasting music all the time, and I was traveling a lot for work. So I was like, it's just a place to rest my head when I'm in between work trips. And then I came back one Saturday night and woke up early on a Sunday morning to get some writing done. And a bunch of people just burst into our apartment, and they're banging on all the doors. It's like 6 different guys. And they're talking to my roommates, and it's a very intense conversation. So I feel the vibe, and I leave. And 5 minutes after I left, I literally drove from my apartment to Mount Trashmore in Virginia Beach, which was 5 minutes away. As soon as I park, I get a call from my roommate telling me not to come back home. There was a shooting and the cops were there. So naturally, I go back home, and I'm like, what's going on? So long story short, the cops got into a shootout with one of the guys that shot another person inside the apartment. The people that the cops shot ended up dying, and then the person that got shot in the apartment, all people that I didn't know, that my roommate knew, that person was in critical condition. So when I got back to my apartment, they had it roped off. They kept telling me I might not be allowed back into it if it becomes a homicide, because that person was in critical condition. They ended up letting me back into my apartment after they brought the fire truck, hosed down the stairwell and everything, and there was just blood. There were holes all in the doorway. There was blood all in on the linoleum, all on the carpet, everywhere. And I had locked my door from the inside before I left because I was like, I don't know these people, and it seems like it's getting heated, so I don't want anybody to go in my room. And the cops kicked my door down and pretty much trashed everything in my room. But I literally that night packed up what I could. The next morning, got a storage unit, packed up everything in there, and pieced out of there. And then after I came back, I was kind of lost. I wasn't in my job anymore or anything, so I really wanted to start pursuing the filmmaking that I wanted to do. I, always writing, working on new books and stuff, but I really wanted to start doing filmmaking. So that's when me and Caesar started talking more, because I don't know who reached out to who at the time, but we started bouncing some ideas around, and a couple of friends that were artists, and we started doing videos. And then we started working on some commercials together, and one thing led to another, and now here we are, still working together, but on something completely different than what we originally started with.
I wanted to make movies, but now we had to elect a giant orange creamsicle.
I mean,
yes,
that's still gonna happen.
That's
I had dreams, damn it.
Yeah. So all right. So
valid.
Prior to the live stream, there was some indie film and some machinima footage, and that comes from Bravo Whiskey Charlie Films, company that I started. And admin Matt and admin V do some writing for it. I got a mustache here that's trying to go like up my nostrils, so excuse me. And COVID kind of shut that down for a bit, and then I ended up moving out of the Atlanta area, and I was like, all right, so this election, Kamala's gonna win, and I can just relax and not do political shit. I was like, November 6th or whatever, we'll do a live stream and watch the results, and then November 7th, it's just gonna be me in like my America tank top and my American flag panties and my Budweiser cowboy hat, and I'm just gonna make Ricky Redneck skit videos or stupid, Brother Billy Ray, hey friends, bullshit skits. No. Like I was like, oh, I want to get back into indie film and I want to do stuff, and it was not to be. So I feel you on that.
Yeah, that was the trajectory we were on until we weren't.
Oh man,
but I couldn't be. I'm sure you feel the same way. You feel compelled, like you can't just sit idly by and not lend your voice or not try to be a part of the fight, not try to be a part of the solution, because a lot of the people who are staying silent are, I feel, complicit to what's going on. A lot of people refuse to see the dire situation that this country is in, and I think some of that is ignorance, and some of that is people are scared and people don't know how to react or don't know what to do. And so I wanted to lend my voice to try to be like, hey, this is what's happening and this is what you can do. So hopefully that'll catch on at some point.
I mean, I will say this as, and I may be a little biased, but I think you're doing a great job, Chance.
I think you are too, man. I think you are too. I think we both are, and a lot of other people are as well. It's just I definitely recognize that this is, regardless if we want it to be, a long road and a lot of effort that's going to be that it's going to take down this long road. And I mean I'm here for the long road. I'm here for the fight, and I think what we got to do is wake up as many people as possible to the fight and to caring, and to relinquish their apathy and be like, hey, this stuff is fucking serious and something needs to be done about it.
Was there a conscious decision? So for religious folks, you know what I'm talking about when I say this. Is there a call? Was it a calling? Like, I have no choice. This is what we started doing. not talking about like, yo, this guy became
The
president.
call.
Did you guys just get a calling like this is what we're doing, and it end up just being that, or was there a conscious decision? Like I see 6 months ago, you got Delivery, a novel that you're either writing or hasn't or came out or hasn't come out.
Yep,
You're
not yet.
writing, and then
Right.
it hasn't come out yet. We'll be looking forward to. And the next thing you know,
I appreciate
this
that.
you guys are like, yo, you know what? We got to go this way. We don't have a choice. Was that conversation made, or did this just happen because you
So from my perspective, so how it went was we were actually in the middle of doing a short film that he had written and he wanted me to direct, and we were going over it and we were coming up with plans. We had already filmed like the first scene, and then like it was like I think it was January 10th. Like Chance comes up to me and says, "Hey, so I'm gonna do a video for the inauguration."
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "Okay, all right."
Prior to the
what
inauguration.
What do you want to do? He says, "Well, I just want to, talk about how I feel about the matter." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So we sat him at a desk in our little area we usually work in, and I put my small little camera in front of him, and I walked out the room because I didn't want him, distracted and stuff like that, and be looking at me. So I just wanted to look at the camera. He had a script ready, and he did his thing. And then I walked back in. He edited it, and we posted it. And it was the response that we had gotten come the inauguration that it wasn't much. It wasn't much, but it was enough to where like this. I saw this fire light up in Chance that I had never seen before. I had never seen Chance get this excited about anything or passionate about anything. Like he's always been a passionate guy.
I don't know if I was too excited. I was,
but it was like,
passionate.
but there was like, it was, and it was the sense of conviction you had, and you said I want to do another one, and it was right after North Carolina had their freak snow. Snow
well,
day
I tell you what it was. I tell you what that point was right there. It's because, and this comes from years of me speaking out about politics and the things that I found wrong with the world, and that's shown in a lot of my writings. My first book actually is a book called Satan's Beach, and it's literally about a cult of personality that brings a bunch of people from different like church denominations, different walks of faith together under one roof, because it's that cult of personality, and was really about how people within cults will sacrifice their own beliefs and start being okay with things that they normally never would have been okay with if not for the cult mentality, the hive mind. And that was something that I've always been interested in. And during his first administration, like I said, I was super vocal. Like I was pissed then. I saw everything that everybody else who saw what was going on that was wrong. I saw that as well, and I was voicing that opinion, and I was getting into arguments. I was one of those people that was very passionate about things. And then during the Biden administration, there was this sense of complacency that I had, and I feel like a lot of other people had. And while I still spoke out about things that I thought were wrong, like our involvement in the Israel-Palestine conflict, the genocide that is being committed against the Palestinian people, that's something that I spoke out during the Biden administration. But there was still this sense of complacency that I had then, and also me wrongfully thinking that we wouldn't, like, America would never reelect Donald Trump. Maybe his cult of personality, his cult would, but there's no way we would go back to that. And all of that anger that I had harbored from the first administration, with the trajectory that I saw him and his cronies pushing everything towards, and you know, all the Russian influence that was happening then, and just seeing it spiral out of control and have such a chokehold on people that I knew. That's something that you can't, or at least I can't let go. That's something that I can't just ignore. And when I have this passion and ability to write my thoughts out and to present those thoughts, that doing that inauguration video, it felt like I had to do it. The night of the election, I stayed up all night. I watched True Detective, the first season of True Detective, for the first time. It was my first watch, and I was going to watch like one episode and watch the election, and I had just gotten sober too. I was staying sober for 1 month in November, and I was having a hard time. I was like, thank you. I'm not sober now, but I was, you know, doing like a cleanse and staying sober for 1 month. So, but I was staying clean that entire month during that entire election. And I tell you what, watching the entirety of True Detective in one sitting while watching the election results passively, that was the only thing that got me through that night, was watching True Detective. But I tell you, after the inauguration video, what really set me off was Elon Musk's Nazi salute. I remember when it happened, watching the inauguration speech and just shaking my head the entire time, being pissed off about it, being like, how are people eating this up? Hearing him literally, like, Trump literally says manifest destiny in his speech. And I'm like, do we not know the history behind manifest destiny, how we just use religion to justify and excuse the worst atrocities that we've committed?
I learned that in school.
And then
I remember that.
And then I was with my dad, and we're watching the news. We're about to go out to eat, and Elon Musk does the Nazi salute. And I had literally I'd gotten off of Twitter a couple months before because I had seen how much it became a Nazi playground and how much Elon Musk played into that. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. This place is horrible. And I remember talking to my dad about it and like telling him about, you know, the touting of eugenics and like all of these things that I was seeing. And then he does that, and it just verifies everything that I've been reading and that I've been thinking for a long time. And I'm like, there it is right there. I fucking told you. And now there's the proof. And I was like, I got to say something about it, especially when the reaction to so many people were like, oh, he was just joking around, or, oh, he was just waving and stuff like that.
Oh, he's autistic.
Like, yeah,
I'm like,
he's autistic.
That was the one that got me.
It's from the heart. It's
that was the one that got me. When people were like, "Oh, he's autistic," I'm like,
and that was like,
and now we're ableist, and now we're ableist now. It's like suddenly being autistic is an excuse to do dumb shit now.
I was like, how stupid can people be to see that and to know his history, his family history, the history of everything that he says, everything that he upholds, and everything that he reposts and talks about. I'm like, this is very in line with his cultivated persona and his ideology that he's shown. And I'm like, how are people still in this delusion? How can't people see what's going on? And
because prior to him bailing out the orange fudgesicle, people loved him. It's like he jumped over to the right side. He jumped over to the right side, bailed out the orange fudgesicle.
Introduced with new information, you should take that new information to account, and you should change your opinions based on new information when you get it.
Yeah, but when and I 100% agree with you. Like, you're 100% right.
I know.
There's no world in which what you just said doesn't make sense. But for some reason, these sycophants and these
that's exactly
bootlickers are just like you're only mad at him because he switched sides. You like, if he had worked for Joe Biden, you wouldn't have said shit. Like, if Joe Biden had made Doge, you would be like sucking him off and be like, oh my god, yes, more Elon, yes, Daddy.
No,
Elon. I'd
be saying the same things. I'd be saying exactly the same things.
Because a lot of people spoke out during Biden's administration.
Yeah, like I had
But
criticism for Joe
Mhm.
Biden. Granted, he was nothing compared to Trump and his administration, but I
Right.
definitely had criticisms.
but
And
but it's
my
but
biggest criticism was our continued support of atrocities throughout the world.
yeah, but it's almost
I'm
like
gonna
it's
go
like
AFK real
people for
fast.
some reason are
Pop up.
obsessed with this idea that like you can't change your opinion based
Mhm.
on like especially if you change your opinion because someone does something you don't like, then that means that you never were a supporter, you were just a
That is
follower or something.
wild.
Like people have this weird
That is
mentality where
what
it's like, but it's
being a
like no, like
follower is.
we didn't switch up on Elon because he chose the wrong side. We switched up on Elon because Elon switched up on us, like
Mhm.
not just party wise or voting wise, but like his as a human being. Like he presented himself in the beginning. Like if you weren't paying attention to him, like at the time, nobody
Right.
was. Nobody
Right.
was paying attention to him and his inner workings. We just saw him as like this billionaire Tony Stark wannabe South
Right.
African dude who's just like, oh, he's Tesla and he wants to buy Twitter. He's got too much money. He's kind of making dumb decisions, but hey, he's smart.
Yeah,
But
I didn't pay attention to him or his ideology or the things that I didn't dive that deep back
yeah,
in the
no one
day. I
did.
made money off of Dogecoin in 2017,
So
and
did
that
I.
allowed me to publish. Yeah, that allowed me to publish my first book. I was like, all right, cool. Elon Musk might not be that bad, but I didn't have any information on him.
Yeah, but
There
it's
was
it's
have any
always
information on him.
it's always timing when it comes to like, and this I feel like this is sometimes by design when it comes to propaganda and rhetoric and stuff like that. It's like the timing of which we found out all this information about him also coincided with him hopping ship to go support Donald Trump and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
it doesn't excuse any of the things that he did, but
Right.
it just it's so weird that it's like this stuff was in the public eye for so long. We just
Mhm.
had to look for 5 minutes. We just had
Mhm.
to read his Twitter, not his X account, his Twitter account for 5 minutes. We just had to just watch what he did and what he said to people. It's like there were so many
Mhm.
things that were going on in broad daylight that we just didn't
Right.
see because that wasn't our focus.
That's the
And
thing about people who have that kind of wealth and that kind of power. They don't
Mhm.
live regular everyday lives like we do. They don't see people as people. They see people as numbers, and they prioritize profit over people. So people like Elon Musk, people like Donald Trump, who people are like, oh, they used to be Democrats and now you're just mad because they're Republicans now. It's like, no, I'm not mad about that because I don't think either of them actually believe in the ideology of what it means to be liberal or conservative or left or right. The ideology that they care about is whatever keeps them and garnishes them more wealth and power. That's it. That's all it is. So if that means dividing people, if that means punishing people who speak out against them or threaten their status, and if that means imprisoning people and forcing them to work because they were able to convince parts of the population that those people were the enemy of them, like they're gonna do those things because they do not actually care about anything except their own self-interests.
Mhm.
Looking at
And
someone like Elon, my actual thought is he is delusional enough to believe that. Well, of course, he's delusional enough to believe his own bullshit, right? So
Mhm.
he believes that him being here makes the world better because he's going to
Oh
take us
yeah.
to Mars when
Yep.
everything is done, and only through him can humanity be saved. He believes that.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But the big change came when he realized that he's not all powerful, that he was being investigated. When he said, if Trump doesn't win, I might be going to jail. Like I'm gonna be in prison because there's so many things, there's so many investigations out on me that we only learned about after this guy won.
Right.
But the amount of investigations on Starlink
Mhm.
and SpaceX I believe that that's when he realized, well, I still
Right.
think that I'm most important. That never changed. But I'm going to go ahead and just switch to this side because this side at least gives me the chance to not go to jail. That's
Yeah,
all
to
that.
dismantle all those
Right.
organizations
Yeah.
investigating him and then privatize them for his own companies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that kind of worked hand in hand for both. And that kind of worked. Yeah, and that worked both hands and between Elon and Trump. It's like they needed each other because without the other, they were both going to jail. Like either Elon was gonna lose everything and probably like be a disgraced businessman who has to start all over or has to move the country, something like that, and Trump was going to jail. That like they needed each other. It's like that was just a match made in hell. It was just like we need like
And when
Trump.
you have the richest,
I remember watching some of the Trump court cases going down and like the amount of money that they were trying to like get that he needed to pay just to do his cover his legal fees. And he kept saying, I don't have that money, I just have in assets. And they're like, well, we'll just take your assets then. And it was like they were gonna take everything from him. And now all of a sudden it's like here comes Big Daddy Elon with all $250 million to save him from all that. And now he's able to run for president again. Then with all that money, he's able to stall the courts out and pay his lawyers to stall the courts out just long enough for the Supreme Court to be like, oh well, presidents get immunity and stuff like that. And he's like, I'm good now. It's like once that ball started rolling downhill, we should have known that he was a real threat then, but we didn't. And that is collectively our fault.
Collectively,
we're not going to let that happen again.
I think, yeah, but also we have to also realize the insurmountable wealth, power, and influence of Elon Musk. Because before this, he spent so much time cultivating this persona, this online personality that people gravitated towards by, propping himself up and getting involved in all of
a lot of those people were weak, though.
Oh,
a lot of those people were fucking mentally and emotionally weak.
I definitely think so. But when you have a platform like Twitter and you take control of that, I mean, he did that for the sole purpose to have this influence, because it wasn't about freedom of speech, because he took away the third-party fact checkers and then he started doing his own censorship based on what he wanted. He started banning people just for speaking out against him, or banning journalists who were investigating him or writing articles about X. And he flooded it with bots to, control the narrative and control the culture on that platform to heavily weigh over into the far right. And that helped Donald Trump immensely. Not only that, but $250 million, $250 million into his campaign. I mean, it's nothing that we've seen before. That type of influence. It's insanity.
Speaking to the sentiment though, of weakness or not, like the truth is, the reason why propaganda happens is because propaganda works.
Yeah.
That people are dumb. Persons are smart. People are dumb. And we know, no matter what, somehow in humanity, if there's a Goebbels, there's an H-man, right?
Oh, yeah.
If there's a Twitter and someone controls it, there's a percentage that you can capture and take. Whatever the reasons why, and I'm often left baffled by that, because I'm of the same mindset as Big Sarge, like, how weak do you have to be? How does this happen? Like, how does this happen? But I just know the numbers say it will. It will.
Right.
If you control the narrative, if you have the voice of enough people, this will happen. So the reasons why become less important.
Yeah.
And the numbers become more. Like, how do you change that? So my next question is, none of this would be possible if it weren't for Merrick Garland. How much do we hate Merrick Garland?
I forgot that person existed.
A lot. A lot is the
A
answer.
lot.
The correct answer is a lot. This is the guy. Imagine if we actually started working on getting Trump in jail the minute after he caused the insurrection on the country from which he was the president of. Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
They did. They just took 4 years to do it, which is ridiculous.
That's what
Like that was an open and shut case. They should.
Yeah, it was an open and shut case, and it's so crazy that it took a fire starter of an attorney in New York to like pretty much fight tooth and nail to get her to try to get this man in court, dealing with the fact that this guy is gonna pay 30,000, like 30 something lawyers just to slow things down. And it's like, why does it take? Like, why was there not a conceded, a combined effort, like going after him, like there should have been? It's like that should not have taken. Like, I don't know why we got into 2022 without him being behind bars. Like, I don't understand it.
It's because Democrats, including Joe Biden, decided that for some reason they can look at somebody who causes an insurrection and a group of people behind him that say, yay, insurrection, destroy, wipe shit on the White House, and kill the people inside there. And somehow when you get in, you have the hubris to believe that, well, I'm going to unite them. I'm going to get like Merrick Garland come in, and I know he's a Republican, but I want to show that I want to help out. I'm not going to go all for it, even though I have, the votes for this or for that. This idea, of course, yeah, we can say there's a lot of money involved and going too far this way or that way. Democrats, being beholden to donors will stop them from doing it. But the main truth is, we refused to see what the other side was becoming and had become by January 6th. If I could have predicted it, which I did, months and months before the election, and then after the election. And I'm just a nobody. I'm just a drill sergeant that is on YouTube. And you're telling me the smartest people in the world who graduate from Harvard still have no idea what it is they're dealing with. It's hubris. That's why. That's why.
Yeah,
you really believe that you can pull it together.
It is absolutely hubris.
There's a huge level of complacency that I think a lot of the country felt that was against Trump after that happened. But at the same time, that is indicative of such a larger problem of the Democratic Party, which is always trying to move closer to the center and appease the ideals of the right. And if you are, not just politically opposed, but if we see what the Republican Party has become, it is completely ideologically opposed. It is no longer, a question of politics. It's a question of human rights, of civil rights, of the very fabric of the democracy of this country. That's what's at stake. And I feel like a lot of people who were against Trump in his first administration saw the threats to all of those. But those that were in Congress, and still a lot of them today, are still playing by the same rules. They see the threats, but yeah, I mean, it is hubris. They think that that couldn't happen here. That's the American lie. I like to say is that, that thing in that foreign country that happened and that we came in and intervened, that could never happen over here, because we're Americans and we're so much better than everybody else, which is not true at all. But the thing is that we should all try to be. And I feel like that's what it really means to be American. It's the opportunity to make the country and the world a more diverse, equitable, and inclusive place. And that's what we should be striving for. We should be striving for making the world a better place for everybody and not trying to keep it the same or regress it for a small group, just a small group of people. And that is the ideological difference that we are facing right now. And I feel like the Democratic Party were fools to believe that it was different than that. And to keep trying to, still are. And to keep trying to cater to the right. No, stop moving to the center, hold firm in your beliefs and act on it.
The main problem is moving to the left means making less money.
Yeah, that's yeah.
But when you say less money, it's like it's drops in the buckets less money. It's like if you really think about it, like you could still make so much money being on the left. It's just that you're not gonna have like, instead of having 10 yachts, you're probably gonna have 3 in the grand scheme. It's like let's
I don't think we need the yachts.
We don't need the yachts, but
the reason why we got here.
Let's not be hasty now. Come on.
How these people
All right, so look, just saying, if I had a yacht, even if it was a modest yacht, I would have booze, and I would have chicks, and I would have like music, and I would just sit on my yacht looking at chicks drinking booze, listening to music, and not fucking up the planet or whatever.
Not trying to conquer the world for yourself.
I don't need to be a billionaire. Just if I had a yacht.
Well, here's the problem. Capitalism, and there is a problem with this because capitalism works such that the only way you get a yacht is if you're the type of person that wants fucking 10 of them.
Yeah.
Right. What you have to do to get a yacht, to be able to own a boat that needs constant maintenance and goes fucking nowhere and doesn't do anything but sit there, means that you've already had a couple homes.
Places.
Right, and a couple of cows. Very rarely does someone own a yacht because they used to sail for Sony professionally.
Right. Majority of yacht owners are Bond villains. Let's come on. The reason why we got to this place in the first place is because of this unchecked capitalism that we have. And unchecked capitalism always leads to fascism, unless you have socialism to balance it out. That's what we need. You have to have it.
Leads to the
communism.
Same thing.
Yeah,
when you have unchecked anything.
The idea is if you can keep it, like what's my man? Was that Jefferson who said that?
Franklin
who said that?
A republic,
Franklin,
if you can keep it.
You have a republic if you can keep it, because at all times, the human condition is such that you're going to have people that want more, and there's going to be people who will find a way to convince the people that regulations are wrong. And so if you're not constantly, always fighting on the other side for regulation, to regulate, this is where it ends up, right? This is where it ends up. And I think that because we're the only country left that hasn't had the invasion, that the closest thing we got to bombs from somebody else onto our country was Pearl Harbor.
The War of 1812.
9/11 and Pearl Harbor. Like people had to come across the ocean and blow something we had up.
So 1812. So let's say this.
That was the last real invasion.
Yeah.
I don't count the Civil War because we kind of invaded ourselves, depending on how whose perspective you're looking at.
That's the opposite of an invasion.
That was an infection. That was an infection.
Look at 1812. Between 1812 and then what? Right? Like that
nothing.
Is the nothing. And then Pearl Harbor. That's the amount of time that we've had to be complacent.
Right.
To not think about, are we fighting for the other side? To get just enough money and still think you're doing right and be a Republican, and then after the big switch, a Democrat. To get just enough money and think you're doing right, to let Reagan go ahead and get rid of the fairness doctrine. Murdoch is making us money. We can at least use him to campaign on. The whole idea is that the incremental steps and of losing vigilance is
Mm-hmm.
what gets us. My biggest question to all of us here in this space is, how do we ensure that vigilance is kept after we win this thing? Now we're 10 years from now when NATO comes in and bombs us. How do we keep? I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're right.
Here's-
Chickens have come home to roost, you know?
Here's the thing. Fascism is not self-sustaining. It will always end because at a certain point, whether it's, a year, 4 years, or 10 years, or 100 years, people are going to get pissed off. They're going to start bucking the status quo and they're going to topple that government. It is inevitable.
Right.
It is not sustainable. There is not a fascist government that has survived long enough to outlive Nirvana, for example. It didn't even outlast the fucking American Civil War, but that's a different story. So at some point, it is going to end. But the question is, what's going to replace it? So if we have a 2026 midterm election, and that's a big fucking if right now, we have an opportunity to course correct. But what happens after that? Let's pretend just for a second that we have a 2026 election and that enough people turn out the vote and they're like, fuck all of this, whether it's conservatives who are mad about their Medicare, their Medicaid, their food stamps, or EBT, whatever it's called now, their veterans benefits, or it's people who are like left of center or even center never Trumpers, and they all decide to band together and they decide to vote and get rid of this fucking shit show. We still have 2 more years of the Trump administration, but let's pretend that we now have a blue Senate and a blue House. What are we going to do? Because realistically, this administration has already bypassed Congress. They bypassed the Supreme Courts. They bypassed the judiciary branch that is not the Supreme Court. In other words, like federal judges and everything else. They basically said, fuck all of you. You're all irrelevant and nobody's doing shit. So 2026 midterms come around and things start ironing out. If we don't go a fucking full frontal assault on everything in the administration, it's not going to make a difference. If you get a blue House and a blue Senate, it doesn't change anything because the administration is still in power.
You still have the same systemic problems that whoever is in power is going to take advantage of.
Yeah,
right. And you can impeach the motherfucker twice in his one term, and he'll still be there unless you have a 2/3 majority. So you need to have it's not just retaking the House and the Senate. You also have to convince an X amount of Republicans to go along with it at either the House or the Senate level, depending on which majority you have. So if you don't have that 2/3 majority in the Senate, you can impeach a motherfucker all day long. We saw that shit in with the first Trump administration. I got impeached twice. An impeachment means nothing. It's a slap on the wrist. It's the conviction that counts, and nobody has been convicted yet in the Senate. They could have had it in like the fucking 1800s or some shit, but and that's why we are in the position that we are today. So if we have that 2026 midterm election, and on top of that, so condition A, we have it. Condition B, we win it. What then? And there are a lot of fucking milquetoast, limp dick Democrats that even if they secure their the House and the Senate, that aren't going to do shit. Like John Fetterman.
Yeah, I can't. That guy's a Trojan horse. That guy's a Trojan horse.
Some people. So there's 2 theories on John Fetterman. One theory is that he's playing politics as much as he can with the red voters and the blue voters so that he can stay in office. He's trying to appease because he didn't come from a specifically blue or red state. It's kind of purple, so he has to appeal to Democrats and Republicans. So there's that theory, is that he's trying to play both sides, but then the other side is that his whatever medical issue he had, he just decided, fuck these guys that supported me, I'm going to go with these other clowns or whatever. I don't know. So winning the midterm is not going to be the be all and end all. It's going to take action.
Not. Yeah.
In order to
I think
get those fucking people to do something.
Can I give
us?
Can I give what I think has to happen? No, it's absolutely fucking perfect what you said, and I want to get the idea of
Stop tripping on me. Fuck.
Here is what happens if the B, if B happens, right? We have to make sure, because the only thing that changes is who's in power in the House and the Senate. Right now, the House and the Senate have no power, no matter who you're with. The people in power is a couple of people at the top, and everyone else has gently kneeled down on the carpet and started to slob on the knob of Orange Man and double fisted.
Chuck Schumer.
Exactly what they're doing. Chuck Schumer, yes.
That fucking guy.
The carpet is soft, and they're not getting up. So that's done. Right now, we're seeing what it's like for a Congress to have no power. What happens when if by chance of God, they don't fix the elections, try to pause the elections, or try to pause it and fail, and we get an entire blue Congress? What happens is, if they think that they made it, then we lost. If they know that we're still on their ass, there's a chance. Because that complacency that they feel only comes. The reason why the Republicans are acting the way they are now, why they're genuflecting so hard, is simply because they know that as long as they genuflect, there's enough people out there that'll vote them back in because they did what Trump said to do. I don't care how many little girls you rape. I don't care. I don't care that you got rid of my Medicare. You got rid of them goddamn lesbians, and you got rid of them goddamn queers in the school. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
And they go for
and the people with penises in the girls' vagina bathrooms.
Come out. Stop using the kitty litter. Stop using the daggone kitty litter in the school. Now, they know for a fact they can do that for 6 months and win an election, period.
Right.
They don't care what the fuck is really going on, because they have cultivated a cult of people who are so calm down, uneducated.
There's got to be a culture shift from a lot of different directions.
What we need on the Democratic side is an equal and equally effective groundswell that's there from day one to say, now that we put you here, I dare you. I dare you. We got someone else coming. We got someone else coming. Are you going to vote for this? Are you not? As a matter of fact, we have 15 different chance meetings sites that are all ready to start filming on site. We have another veterans organization that's going to go ahead and march the minute that you say you're going to wait till next week to vote for the thing you should have voted for this week. Unless that happens, it's not about them, is what I'm saying. Operation B, if that happens and we do get the blue thing, it means nothing that they're in there. It only means that we are on the right track.
Right.
And we cannot stop it. And we cannot stop it because they have to feel afraid of us.
Definitely. It has to fundamentally change from a lot of different sides. There needs to be, first we need to reinstitute a lot of there's going to be a lot of cleanup, a lot of reconstruction, after the dismantling of the government that we've seen thus far. But also there needs to be parameters to make sure, we need to get lobbying out of the government. We need to get that money out of the government. We need to take that away. Yeah, we need to get rid of Citizens United, all of that. We need to I think we need a wealth cap, and I think we need to go back to taxing overwhelming wealth at 90%, like, prior to the Reagan era, like the 1950s, when that was the portion of time in this country where there was the most wealth equality, and we've seen the wealth inequality just grow in the destruction of the middle class. That's that unchecked capitalism. So we need to balance that capitalism with socialism. We need to take care of our people. We need to take care of education. We need to make sure that everybody has the opportunity to an education. And at the same time, we need to make sure that these social media platforms that we have regulations on them, so that they can't come in and have somebody who controls them, who has vested interest to manipulate large populations of the public into radicalization, like Elon Musk has done.
Here's the thing, though. There are 7, 8, 9, 10 billionaires who essentially are not in government, and that includes Elon Musk, because nobody fucking elected that guy. Nobody appointed him to any actual real position, who have the vast majority of the wealth in the country, if not the world, who are not going to allow that to happen. They're going to fight tooth and nail, and they're going to buy as many elections and politicians, including Democrats, as they can. So, and I'm going to say a thing, and I'm going to say this for the benefit of libs of TikTok who I live rent-free in their head. They've already put me on blast on their Twitter. They put me on blast on their Twitter. The last show that we did with Katie and Lindsay. Yeah. I didn't even fucking give them the time of day. I saw it. I looked at it. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Fuck you guys. Anyway, I'm saying this for their benefit because they're out there watching the stream so they can take another screenshot and post it on their fucking Twitter page because they need us to get likes. Anyway, I digress. Y'all motherfuckers should charge me rent. I'm looking at you, libs of TikTok. Charge me rent, bitches. Charge me rent. I'm living rent free in your head. Suck this girthy fat cock, motherfucker. Anyway, so I'm saying this for their benefit, so that they can get their little fucking boost of numbers. Look what these guys are saying. Oh my god! A lot of this stuff is there is a potential for a lot of this stuff that we want to have happen is not going to happen, unless we fucking crush the billionaire class.
Yeah, I wholeheartly agree.
The rich.
And
so
that has to
of
come
TikTok,
from the
you can
people.
interpret that however you want. You can spin it to your own little fucking. These guys are saying something violent.
No, I'm gonna stop you right there. What needs to happen
to all of them, lick those boots. Like we need to get the masses. We need to get the people on the side of not catering to not just the government, but all of the people who seem to think that billionaires have their best interests at heart, which is the biggest fallacy that has ever been touted. Like, they do not care about you. They see you as a number.
Maybe
stop caring about them.
Party.
Stop defending them every which way you go. You don't matter to them. So start caring about yourself and your family and the people around you, and work against them like everybody should be doing.
And the number one way to do that, it's not enough to like just get, one side or the other all the way in office and stuff like that. It's not enough, because it doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat or Republican. Right now, our elected officials are either desperately fighting by themselves, isolated, aren't fighting at all, or are fighting each other to suck the teat that is the billionaire class, so they can get something out of it. So we as the citizens of this great nation have to remind them. We have to remind them that we are the reason they have their jobs in the first place. And as the good book said, the Lord giveth, the Lord shall taketh away at a moment's notice. And so we have to so it's not enough to get these people in office and stuff like, oh, we got if 2026 happened, we flipped everybody blue and stuff like that. If these people are not terrified of what their own constituents will do to them,
Exactly.
in the event that they do not deliver after we spent 2 years of just dealing with this shit again.
And they're feeling that. They're feeling it. That's
Like,
why they
if-
have to do the fascism.
Like if we vote these people in, and then we get complacent, and we go, okay, we got people in, we're good, we should be good. Let's chill out. Let's see what happens. The second we do that, those of them that are weak-willed, those of them that are just like tap dancing around and bullshitting around, just so they can get elected, just so they can do the same thing that Cuck Schumer and all them did before.
I like this guy. Sorry, I already got
right?
orange strudel, orange pastry strudel or something like that. Orange fudgesicle. I'm writing them down. I'll give you credit.
And Cuck Schumer.
These are fire. All fire.
Yeah.
And it's like they're just gonna do the same thing because they're gonna be like, okay, I think the coast is clear, we can get away with it. It's like, no, you're not getting away with this. We put you there for a reason. I don't care if it's red or blue. We put you there for a reason because the last guy before you didn't do the damn job. And we did what we were supposed to do, and we wrote on a piece of paper or we clicked the box on a computer and said, hey, you out, you in. And once we put you in, we will just know we will be standing on your necks the whole time, and don't give us a reason to stomp because
That's
we will.
the point. Is I'm gonna leave you guys with this because I gotta go soon.
Okay.
That's the point. The absolute point is because I want to talk to the people out there. Number one, go visit our friends over here, man, at the Real Chance Meeting. Okay, at the Real Chance Meeting, go visit them. Number two, they will not save you. They will not save you. Everything you did to get there, think about it like the self-help video for your wife. Everything you did to get her, you do to keep her. Okay? Everything you did to get there, you do to sustain that power that you feel like you have. I guarantee you, what happens is the people will placate. They'll make really big, bold moves. They'll do just like Fetterman did with his fucking hoodie. Only recording and the brick behind him. Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I knew it was the play, but I thought it was a smart one. He was smart. And he'll do exactly what he thinks he needs to do to look like that Pennsylvania worker. Yeah. But unless we're there afterwards, they will turn. Unless we're there afterwards, they return. The Tea Party has not given up on the black guy being president yet. Not once. They're willing to burn it down. And I guarantee you, anybody that says on the Republican side, hey, by the way, maybe we shouldn't elect Roy Moore, who's a sexual predator, they'll go, nope. Hey, maybe we shouldn't vote for the black guy who says I'm a black Nazi and likes to pee on women and goes to watch trans porn while trying to take away trans rights. Nope. Not gonna happen. Nope.
That guy's from our state.
Right.
I thought he was talking about what's his name?
He's talking about Mark Robinson.
Yeah, Mark Robinson.
Yeah, Mark Robinson.
I like
the black Nazi.
I like the reason why I like trans because you can still you can take out the man and still keep him there. Anyway, so this is the point. The point is, guys, they realized something a long time ago that we took for granted, and that is the minute they lost Roe versus Wade, the minute Nixon found out that he wasn't going to be able to just do what he wants and have executive theory, they haven't stopped fighting since. When we gave up on things that because we thought we won a long time ago, they haven't stopped fighting since. 50 fucking years later, they finally got this thing. They had a plan. They kept fighting, they kept marching, they kept electing, they kept on the fight until they finally got it. What we have to now realize, what we have to remember is it's not about the people we put in office. It's about the think tanks. It's about these conversations. It's about continuing the fight. Always having somebody out there saying, don't forget. Don't forget. I know you did great. I'll even say it like this, just so I can bring it home to you guys. Don't forget, Jasmine Crockett. I love you. I guarantee you tomorrow, if you don't do what I ask, don't forget I'm in DC. Don't forget, AOC. I'm glad you're around, moving around. I'm glad you're out with Bernie Sanders, getting these big crowds. Keep those crowds. If you lose them, don't forget.
Right.
I don't care who you are. You're not my friend. You're a tool. And until we realize that they are tools, not friends, not teammates, we will lose. I'll leave you guys with that.
All right. But I'm just saying, if I could be friends with Jasmine Crockett,
I'm married.
I would be okay with that. Like, I would just be like, hey, you know what? You want to come over and hang out? We'll watch some Netflix and have some dinosaur chicken nuggets and
That's what happened.
No, but it's
we'll sit on opposite ends of the couch and
I know. Every time I
have battle of
wits.
Have a battle of insults.
Where's my drink?
But that's the thing that the MAGA cult doesn't understand, because I've never seen people just dick ride somebody so hard, and I'm like, that's the same thing. It's not your friend. Why do you have his face all over your shirt and all over your truck? Why do you have his flags everywhere? Do you see us doing that for anybody? Like, to be that delusionally passionate to just blindly go along with anything they say and keep fanboying and fan clubbing for them all the time makes absolutely no sense.
It's 50 plus years, man. That's all we got to remember. This is not just happening because of Trump. Trump ended up being the first person that they could actually use.
That was their
the Heritage Trump Foundation tried this before many times. It just so happened that the first Bush was like, I'm still a human, right? Like, I'm not a fool, but like I'm supposed to care about the country, right? In the next one, there's a certain place that they just wouldn't go, and they found the correct sociopath to be like, oh, me? Bring it on, whatever it takes. I'm getting the power. Let's go.
Whatever it takes.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I got it.
And the one thing that Republican voters have never let their, at least when it comes to the people that they are hardcore behind, they've never let them forget that, like, as soon as they mess up with them, they are on their ass. They are on their ass. And that's what we as Americans have to do. We have to keep this almost as an ancestral memory. Like, as soon as you get the job of being a congressman, you somehow get this weird ancestral memory of, like, if I fuck up, the people are going to be on my ass, because we will be. We will be on your ass the second you fuck up. That goes for AOC, Jasmine Crockett, Bernie Sanders. Like, the second you flip on us, we're going to be on your ass. And that is a fear that we must return back to our politicians. I feel like we used to do that. I feel like there used to be that fear back when there was a higher belief system in the rule of law, in democracy. And at some point in time, I want to say after 9/11, really, that fear went away because we got wrapped up in other things. And we started just giving up small portions of power because of one thing or another. Maybe it was fear, maybe it was anxiety, maybe it was just we just needed somebody to tell us it was going to be okay after all this stuff went down. But we gave up our power. We gave them that feeling of safety once they got the suit and tie on and got to sit behind the big desk. And it's like, now we have to remind them. And my hope is that we can do that without, 1789. happening all over again. But
1789, where?
Don't worry about it.
That's
Listen, I got to check the group chat and see if no one's in here. Anyway,
oh yeah.
But no, like my hope is that
American flag, fire.
My hope is that we don't have to go a certain way in order to reinstate that fear. But sadly, as human history has shown, you can only step on people so much before people just start. You can only mess with a dog so much before he finally has to nip at you or start biting. So that's what's gonna have to. That's probably what's gonna have to happen. I don't know what that dog bite's gonna look like, but dog's pissed right now.
Yeah, we're already we're seeing it snap already. We're gonna the dog's gonna keep biting.
And it's like we need to reinstate that fear of your voter base. We have to.
Just got church music in the background.
Oh, because I'm preaching right now. Pass the plate, by the way. Pass collection plate. I see. You got like what? You got like what? 300 some comments. Yeah, I need a collection plate pass to all.
My god!
Everybody in the chat.
That's hilarious.
You pass that around. We can make like 4 grand right there.
Look at that! Come on, preach it, brother.
Like we have to light a fire underneath every.
Oh
no! Go ahead.
I'm
when
coming
they
out
sit
from the
down in
back
that
from the
seat,
kitchen. Walk
they
out
stand
with
behind the
a
podium.
spatula.
They start pointing at you and you and say your eggs are too high. Like the fire. I need that.
Oh my god.
Because we are the fire.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And it burns. Nobody likes getting burned.
That's enough.
I know.
All right, guys, I'm out of here.
Yeah, we gotta scare them. Not scare them, but they gotta. It was good seeing you, man. Nice meeting you.
Yeah, thank you so much for the
Awesome
conversation.
speaking, guys, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Tim's still here. He's gonna chill with you. I just gotta run, but I really appreciate this. This is absolutely beautiful, man. And
Yeah, it
the
was
message
great.
is
Thank
right
you,
there.
Doug.
Please, y'all go see these young folks, man.
Hey,
Check out
appreciate
these
it.
videos. All right, have a good one, guys.
You too, man. Thanks.
All right.
Peace.
What?
Nice thing. Thank you.
I'm gonna leave you alone.
I do want to talk about what happened a couple of days ago because I've been itching to speak on that.
Which part?
I was about to say there's a lot every day.
Like
there's so much.
Like I made the group chat joke, and I'm just like,
oh, the Yemen texts.
The Yemen text. Is that what are we gonna call this?
It's
like,
already called Signalgate. That's what I've been seeing all over the place. Yeah.
I think it's so fascinating that so when I was
the hypocrisy.
When I was in the military,
Hillary's emails.
When I was in, I don't know if you guys did this, but every year we did a thing, cyber awareness training, and it is the worst
every
training.
year? It was like every quarter for us.
Oh God, it might as well have been in a quarter, but it was like we always had to do it, and it was the worst thing ever. And
at the company level, the battalion level, and then at the brigade or regiment level. So it was like 3 times a quarter.
Yeah, it was the most annoying thing ever. Like, I don't understand how people who served or even military adjacent can make a mistake like that, knowing that when we were in, if
unless
somebody
it's
even
deliberate, they don't.
I was about to say
Exactly,
it could be incompetence, but I think the more likely thing is them actually trying to circumnavigate official channels.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I remember the OPSEC training with the little weird like avatars. It was like Kevin and Linda, and Kevin. Like I posted it on the Blue Sky and the Facebook and Instagram for Sons of Liberty. It's the weird little cartoon guy. Like nobody's saying shit because obviously you can't. If you're serving, you can't criticize the Secretary of Defense, but you can post that fucking meme, just a picture of the little guy, and everybody knows what it is instantly.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can find it and screen share it real fast.
Yeah, screen share that.
Because
But no,
there it is. All right, hold on.
Oh God,
Present. Hold on, I gotta figure this out.
I'm about to have a
screen.
Vietnam flashback. Hold on, let me see this.
All right, there we go. Yep, that guy right there. Well,
I've seen
now
this before, but I've never known
if you
the
know,
context.
If you know,
if you know, you know.
Really?
I was
That
thinking
guy
about
right there.
I was thinking
So
about
this
the woman.
comes from like operational security videos when you're in the military.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally a 2 to 3 hour like class
Lord.
set of tests that's just like, hey, like if you're in the office and Deborah wants to give you a floppy disk, because they still use floppy disk in this example.
I was about to say, is that a euphemism?
Or a CD?
It's not
Hey, put this in your computer.
It's not even a floppy disk. Like when this was written, it was still called a floppy disk, but it was a 3.5-inch hard disk.
Yeah.
Literally a slab of plastic with a little metal slide on
Mhm.
it. But it still stems from like the 8.5 floppies where you
Yeah.
can like it was literally a piece of plastic sheet.
And it's like, hey, put this in your computer and play this awesome game I found. And it's like, no, don't do that. Like it's like I didn't need cyber awareness, and I knew not to do that. I'm like,
Right.
no, like I don't know what's on there. Like
That's
we were
yeah,
learning
it
things
has
like
to be
two-factor authentication, the whole work, everything that Facebook tells you to do for your freaking profile, and people don't listen to was on this thing, and like we did it all the time. And so either we had to do it yearly, or if somebody messed up, and usually somebody messed up, and we had to do it all over again. So it's like
we're all here because of you, Joan.
Yeah, Schmuckatelli.
Schmuckatelli.
Oh man, but not so it blows my mind that Pete Smegma Hegseth can just sit here.
Egg breath.
Yeah, I got insults for everybody. I don't get down. I'm not a DOD member anymore. I can say what I want, and I'm free. But no, it blows my mind that these people who have connections to the military can break just the most simple versions of OPSEC.
Right.
Like just simple OPSEC. It's like don't use your phone. The Marine Corps just came out with a new commercial, a new piece of call it motivation, but like new video that gives a really good example on why you shouldn't use your personal electronic devices in the battlefield or anywhere near operations. And it's simple, it's to the point, and it sends the message home. It's a guy gets in a firefight, his team gets wiped out, he makes it to like some satellite, and he's able to like find shelter, and he pulls out his cell phone and he texts his platoon his exact location. And it shows that it shows the signal go up, and it's like, hey, your people are not the only ones that can see your signal. And his buddies come to save him, and y'all get hit with a drone strike. It's simple. It's like you don't use personal electronic devices in the battlefield or in the place of operations. Period. And on top of that, you definitely don't use channels, unsecured channels, to use any kind of secured information, classified or not. It's like if it's information that if I can't call home and tell my wife, hey, we're doing A, B, and C. If I can't do that without risk of going to the brig, then you probably shouldn't be saying it over unsecured channels. That's just it. That's just simple.
Trying to look for because I'm looking at who all was in the Signal group chat, and there's quite a bit of people on this group chat. But
it was the director of the CIA, Tulsi Gabbard.
Right.
Hegseth.
There's quite a bit of people. I was looking for. There was somebody who was in Russia at the time in the group chat who received the message while they were in Russia.
I think it's one of the diplomats.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm trying to find it right now, but there's just so much. That's one of the problems with everything that's going on today. Is just there's so much news all the time. It's hard to sift through everything. But that just goes back to this. It can't be that bad of incompetence, or maybe it can be. But to me, it seems like something that was purposeful. That they were using that so that they wouldn't have actual record, within official channels of what they've been saying and what they've been doing.
All right, here's the list of participants. National Security Advisor Michael Waltz, or someone pretending or claiming to be Michael Waltz. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth. Vice President, in name only, J.D. Vance. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Director of National Counterterrorism Center Joe Kent. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard. CIA Director John Ratcliffe. White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles. Deputy White House Chief of Staff Stephen Miller. Fuck that guy. Special Envoy for the Middle East and Ukraine Stephen Witkoff. National Security Council official Brian McCormack. Department of Defense Liaison Dan Caldwell. Counselor to the State Department Mike Needham. Representative from the Vice President's Office, I don't even know what the fuck that means, Andy Baker. Treasury Department Liaison Dan Katz. And Editor-in-Chief of The Atlantic Jeffrey Goldberg. Those
Why?
are the participants.
Why these specific people? If
I can understand certain people, but really the fucking Treasury Department liaison, like what is that guy doing there?
But
like,
for
I'm
one
gonna
thing,
go
it's
into
all
Yemen
people-
and steal all their gold to make gold bars.
Yeah, it's all people that should know better. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like why this group of people for this specific text?
You would think they
And
should
why
know
I'm
better,
saying
but
that. Yeah,
most
you
of these
would think they
motherfuckers
should know
are DEI hires.
I'm gonna tell you exactly why it was these group of people. These are all younger cats, relatively younger cats that are super proud of where they are right now. Like they're touching the sun, they're walking in sunshine. They nothing can touch them right
Flying
now. They
too
are
close to it.
They're flying too close. They're untouchable. They're like, listen, like I have never seen like out of all. I don't know if you witnessed the hearings that were going on today. I have never seen Kash Patel sweat.
Oh yeah, he just pretended like he had just heard about it. Like
He's-
they were just
like-
he was learning about it as they were talking about it right then.
Tulsi Gabbard, like she's aged 10 years since she got put into that position. I don't reckon Tulsi Gabbard looks like significantly older.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what is going on right now that has got these people so messed up and so
And none of them
shook?
owning up to their mistakes at all because Tulsi
No.
Gabbard is deflecting.
No, they're
Capital
doubling
pretending he
down. They're
doesn't
like,
know. And then
what
Pete
we see
Hegseth
here
is
is a
just
bunch of
blatantly
professionals.
lying. He's like,
Well-
no text ever happened. What do you mean? This is a hoax.
Yeah, no, they're
They're not even on the same page with their lies. Like,
No, it's like for Hegseth to come down on that plane and be like, that didn't happen, and the guy at Atlantic is a phony and a fraud and a sham. It's like, bro,
well, the
like
White House just confirmed that it happened.
White House just
so
confirmed that it happened, dude.
what are we
Like, where were
talking
you?
about?
Did you not get the
Why
group
is
text?
why is he not
Their
fired
messaging
yet?
is so fucked up.
I can guarantee you Trump hit him up like, yo, did you not check the group text? I just told you it was confirmed. Chill out.
Man.
And it's just like he's so like these people are so up their own ass, and it's just like,
Yeah.
nah, man, like we like everything we do is perfect. Like there's no fault with us, and if you find fault with us, we're just gonna say, well, the other people did it, so it's okay.
Mhm.
Or
It's
no,
some
it's not.
Wizard of Oz shit. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain.
Yeah.
And it's so stupid, man. I
Deeply
just-
unserious people. It's cruel stupidity. And you know, it could be incompetence or it could be purposeful. Regardless, it's wrong, and
It's
there
wrong.
needs to be consequences. But I doubt there will be consequences.
There won't be.
Yeah.
I will say this. I think one person's losing their job, but only one.
I
And
doubt
only
it.
one.
I doubt
Only
it.
one person. Like I doubt it too. Like I don't think anything's gonna happen. But I do think if something happens, only one person's losing their job.
It'll be
And
the,
it's either-
the,
it's-
journal,
you know-
the journalist from the Atlantic. He
it's
loses
it's
it.
either
That
gonna
would
be
be horrible. That's
Hegseth.
not funny.
It's either gonna
I
be
mean,
Hegseth,
it's not out of the
either-
realm of possibility. You remember Anthony Scaramucci? Dude had his job for like 11 days.
Yep, Scaramucci. So I will say it's either going to be Pete
Yeah.
Hegseth or who was the other guy? That is allegedly himself. What you said earlier? The other the
Mike
first-
Katz.
Yeah, Mike Kent might be the one because apparently whoever it is that added everybody to the group chat and also added that number.
That was the person claiming to be Mike Katz, and
Yeah.
they're
So-
not even sure if that was actually Mike Katz.
Yeah. So
I
I've
doubt
already
it's
heard.
going to be any
So
of
it's
them,
either
and
going
I
to be Pete or
definitely
him.
doubt it's going to be Pete Hegseth.
Actually, I think it might be Pete because he's the most expendable. Pete is the
In a
most
perfect
expendable.
world, it would be all of them, but you know.
Yeah, that's wishful thinking.
It is wishful
think
thinking,
that
but
is
it's
very
not wrong.
wishful
He is the
thinking.
most expendable. It's like he's got just long enough of an actual rap sheet to be like, you know what, maybe Pete wasn't the best option.
To not have the job at all
Yeah.
to begin with.
Pete, I mean, to be fair, Pete was more like a placeholder for the next guy. He was only a
I'm
20-year
sure
04.
There's going to be a lot of spinning. There's going to be a lot of spinning as always.
I mean, who makes it to only 04 after 20 years? I mean, it's like you would think that after 20 years you would make it to like general, but I guess not everyone can be like like the previous guy I fired. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right, so
let's see.
I gotta close the stream out. We've been on it for about 2 hours. Everybody, go that's watching or that will invariably end up watching after the fact. The URL is youtube.com/@therealchancemeeting. Chance meeting. That's the real chance meeting. So go ahead and follow them.
That.
All the socials. Like I looked you guys up, and like there's a whole bunch of different socials that have that @ tag. So you're primarily on the YouTube. You said was your big platform. So
YouTube,
all
Instagram.
our people should go over there. And
yeah, we appreciate it. Thank you for having us on, and we'll keep in touch. I was going to ask you, are you heading up to DC for any of the future protests, like the April 5th or the media blitz or anything?
That's I want to, but I'm gonna be honest with you that the March 14th thing, I'm still recovering from that. That was, and it wasn't just that event. It was like that whole weekend, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I had a lot of stuff going on, so it just took a lot out of me. The speech by itself was a lot, and then Saturday I went to the Battle of Bentonville to do some filming, and so I don't know that I'm gonna make it up to DC for the next one. Probably will just go up to Raleigh because I'm over in near the Raleigh area. So us three are in the same little area. So like I do want to get I want to have like a little barbecue with like Cliff Cash, who lives down by you guys, and Richard
Yeah, we
Jetta,
just
who
interviewed him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He did a town hall in Wilmington where him and his brother played our representative David Rouser, and then his brother played Tom Phillis with big fat heads, and it was hilarious. Yeah, it was absolutely hilarious. And then he gave a speech afterwards, and then we got an interview with him afterwards. So that was awesome. Yeah, we would love to all get together for something.
Yeah, I want to try to put together like a barbecue or whatever, and I'll have like you guys and Richard Jetta and Cliff Cash, and then I'll live stream the whole thing. It'll be fun.
That'd be sick.
Well, I do. Before you close it out, I got a question for you, Big Star. What do you see yourself in 20 years?
20 years. Let's see. By that time, I'll probably be 50, 60, 70. Not retired. That's for goddamn sure. There's no. So I'm pushing 50. So that means there's not going to be any fucking retirement for me or people my age or lower. So y'all can forget about that shit. We're just I'll be a fucking Walmart greeter is what's going to happen. Either that or I'll have been arrested for sedition and fomenting rebellion or some shit. Who the fuck even knows?
Oh man. There's not enough room in jail for all of us. Well, this whole thing has had me thinking, and I think it's not enough for me to sit idly by and complain and be mad all the time. And I'm glad that I've been blessed with the opportunity to help out and be the cameraman and producer for Chance's work and get to do interviews like this with people like you and gain more knowledge on like what's really going on around me versus just what I read in history books and stuff like that. And I think, like I said, when I went to the Veterans March, there was a fire lit underneath me that I haven't felt since I joined the Marine Corps and got that good old fashioned what do you call it, brainwashing.
Oh man,
motivation. But no, I
Yeah,
think I want to
liberation.
actually get into politics and maybe be a senator one day. And
I did in fact have a dream a couple nights ago that I like ran against my local congressional rep. I think Brad Knott is his name for District 13 or whatever. And my whole platform was like, this guy votes for everything that Trump does, and everything that he does sucks. So you should just vote for me, even though like I have a criminal record and tons of porn videos or whatever.
I mean,
We're like,
like, Trump did the same thing. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Yeah. Listen, in America, you may not be able to vote as a felon, but you can be voted for.
Yeah.
No, but
that's
I
really fucking punchy. I like that.
yeah, it's I wanna actually get involved in actual politics, and I wanna do something. I wanna make people believe in their representatives again.
Hell yeah.
And if that means being like the one person in there that like actually gives a damn, I mean that'll suck, but that'll be it. Also, I don't know. I give myself 20 years to either make it into Congress or make it into the presidency. And
Oh wow.
I think Richard Ojeda is a retired U.S. Army major, and we've had him on the show twice now, and he's over near Fayetteville. And I think he said it was like $50 to get your name on the list, but then after that, you got to like raise money to run political ads and shit like that. So I don't know. I don't think there's an age limit like the way that there is. If the presidency is like 38, but I'm not sure if that age limit exists for Congress. So
like for
in fact, I don't
like
think
how
it is
the
because
youngest you can be.
yeah, because
It's
if I
30
remember
it's-
correctly,
I believe the youngest you can be is 33. You have to be 33 or older to run for president.
I think it's 31 because if I'm not mistaken, I think Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is like 35 now, and she's been in office for like 4 years at least.
4 or 5 years. I could be wrong. I thought it was 33, but I don't know. Maybe 33 is like the youngest
I'd
president.
have to
we've
look
had.
it up, and I'm too lazy to like type
How-
on
how
this
was-
keyboard that's
Like, how
literally
old was
right
JFK
here.
when he became president? Okay, I'm about to sound dumb on live stream. Here we go. But like
He was
30s,
in his late 30s.
like the third. You said what?
So to be a senator, you have to be 30 or over. To be a representative, you have to be 25 or older.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Well,
so you can
I'm old
definitely
enough.
do
Mhm.
for either.
I don't know. Also, like like have you ever said the word president or senator and then your last name and just like thought about it for a second?
I personally have not.
Do it. Do it right now. Do it right now. Go ahead. say it.
No.
I would literally, so like if I ran for any kind of office whatsoever, whether it was a fucking alderman for the local town or like Congress or whatever, it would literally be like on day one I would announce my candidacy, and like on day 2 through like day 365 it would just be me being like, all right, so before I talk about my issues that I want to, my campaign platform, I first need to get this out of the way. Let me just go ahead and clear the air about the time that I got arrested for shoplifting, or the time that I got an Article 15 for having a 3-way with my wife, or some shit like that.
Wait, what?
So it would just be a constant. Exactly, it would be a constant stream of that. I would never get around to
Right.
talking about the issues because I would just be like, all right, well, they're gonna find out about this, so let me just go ahead and talk about like why I'm into Shibari and shit like that.
It's a hassle.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
hassle. Well, unfortunately, I have a. As of right now, I have a clean criminal record, unless Uncle Sam sees this and goes, "I don't like what those guys said. Time to ruin that guy's life." So
They can't touch you.
they can't touch me. Up until this
You
point,
do with your IRR, you're fucking free, bro.
yeah, exactly. But no, but yeah, no, I have a clean criminal record, and I'm just popular enough in my neck of the woods, despite the fact that I'm very vocally against the regime I have enough support because of who I am versus what I believe in, which I am still trying to wrap my head around why people are like that. Because like you don't like anything I like, but you like me, so I guess. But I think that's enough to get a foothold in something, to at least talk to certain people and gain some influence. But I'm still learning. I still want to, get as far as I can, as best I can. But we gotta start somewhere. So I'm starting here.
Yeah, and like I brought this up at the rally, and so did Cliff. Is like people need to just get involved in politics. Like, stop being a commentator or sitting on the sidelines of the Facebook comments. Just fucking run for office. And realistically speaking, the worst that you could do is not get elected. Like, that's it. You spend $50, you put your name in the hat, you run your campaign based on the fact that your incumbent candidate who you're running against is fucking incompetent and is not listening to you. So like my representative, the congressional representative where I live, is a Republican. I could theoretically run as a Republican. I probably wouldn't get very far. They'd be like, this dude's fucking lib. Look at him. Here's his fucking videos and shit. But I'd be like, I went to church and found Jesus. But you run against the fucking dude and be like, this. All you have to do, you don't even talk about political shit. Just make it 100% populist. I'm a blue collar worker. You're a blue collar worker, Mr. American voter. Your benefits are getting cut, and this motherfucker voted for it because he's a bootlicker. And even though you're a Republican, he's a Republican, and you have to vote for him, I'm giving you another option, and that option is I'm running as a Republican as well because reasons or whatever, and I can definitely do a better job than this guy. And on top of that, I'm going to show up to my town hall, and I'm not going to fucking run away from you. You can yell at me all you want, but I'll still be at the town hall. That guy didn't show up to the town hall, period. Leave it at that. Any fucking attacks that they want to make on you and be like, well, this guy, when he was 18, got busted for smoking pot or whatever. You're like, so fucking what? What about it? You voted for fucking Medicaid to get suspended. Fuck you. Do they like that?
Like,
do
you
they
don't
care
smoke
about
pot? Like,
what's the bigger issue here? I smoke pot or you voted against their Medicaid?
Right.
Suck it, bitch. That's all you got to do the whole fucking time. Anytime they're trying to redirect an attack back on you and be like, well, I heard that when you were 14, you got busted for shoplifting at the local Safeway. So you voted to take away veterans' benefits. Fuck you, bitch. Just keep turning that shit around. Don't fucking talk about anything else other than that motherfucker's voting record and what he did or did not vote for that impacts the voters. That's all you got to do. Goddamn, I want to run for office. But goddamn, I don't want to explain shit that I had in my past, even if it was like 3 months ago.
Listen, for me, it's like imagine the ads that are made against you. It's like if I'm so much of a threat where someone has to drop $1,000 or so to run like solid political ads against me, saying some messed up stuff, I'm like, bro, I must be doing good. Like, you had to try to get me. Like, you worked hard for that. I must be doing
my
something
ad
wrong.
would literally be me sitting in front of a webcam like I am right now and being like, fuck that dude. That dude voted to take away your Medicaid. He could suck it. I would probably they'd be like, I get like 5 votes and
hey, it's enough.
You never know. This
never
day
know.
and age, you never know.
All right, I gotta end the stream. It's past my bedtime. It's not really, but whatever. I need to go make a
Gotta be in bed by 9.
I hear that. Well,
I do want to
thanks
thank you
again
guys for coming on the show. Absolutely,
Yeah,
it was
thank
so great
you.
to meet you guys in DC, and I really
Yes,
appreciate that you guys took the time to come up and say hey. And I'm glad that I got to meet you guys because you live like an hour down the road from me. So I'm definitely gonna like send you an email and be like, hey, you want to hear
let's get
this
together.
next crazy scheme that I got?
Heck yeah, that sounds great, man.
Well, that sounds fantastic.
It sounds great now. So you get that email. Then you'd be like, What?
Now we gotta rethink.
I mean, is it gonna be like the 4 a.m. text when we were in the military, like the 4 a.m. text?
No, if you get a text from my phone at 4 a.m., you better like call the police because some shit's happening. Somebody like got my phone is impersonating me. Because if I'm not asleep at 4 a.m. or I'm not fucking at 4 a.m., then it's not me.
No, okay, cool. It's like oh no.
Nice.
All right, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
All right.
I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream with a 2 claps and a Rick.
Awesome.
Woo! Take care, everybody.
You too.